Here we have a display cutaway rotator from Create. This is their A version. The A and the B version run a steel final drive gear, and a drive gear is steel. In the small version, those two gears are aluminium, as in there's the aluminium one for the RC5, and the drive gear, final drive gear, is aluminium as well. We have those two here to the side. The output flanges are different on each of the models. This is the A, which is slightly higher in the middle here and a bit more bulkier. The baby one, this is slightly smaller, but the B has a big steel output flange on theirs. We'll just remove this off here. In these ones, this is the early version. This casing is different. In this one there's only a single keyway, but the later versions have a twin keyway in these. So there's a keyway up in here. So basically, yeah, the later models have been beefed up a bit. So this is the, and as you can see, there's a few extra holes in here. I use this as a setup, setting up rotators and whatnot. So basically, let's just remove this casing off the top. Bring it off. And you see, everything's fairly close tolerances in here. This, as I said, this is the early version. And over here we have the current version. You can see by these raised dimples in the middle here. And basically everything is still the same. They're just slightly different shapes at the top. The internals are all the same, very close tolerances. As you can see, the difference between the two, the hole in this one is big because the shafts are now 30mm shafts for the A and the B. And there's the older one, they're 25, just over 25mm. So what they do now, and what they do now for the baby one, is they put this adapter in from the bottom, so to bring it up to the right diameter, because they're only using a 25mm shaft for the baby one. So let's pop it out there again. So there we go. There's the two housings out of the row. So here we have, there is the main gear. We'll just pop that out. See him over here, over there, and then we can see a bit more of the actual rotator inside. Easy to have a look at. Here we have the motor, which sits horizontally. We have a coupling here, which couples it to the worm gear drive gear. There we are, coupling there. There we have the worm gear. Right in the right direction. We have the worm. There we have the worm gear. Then we have the worm wheel. And then, and as you see, there's a bit of Lexan over top of this. This is normally steel. This is the worm chamber. That's normally full of grease, but I'll put a Perspex cover over, Perspex, or actually Lexan cover over. That then drives onto this drive gear, which then drives onto the main gear. And over here we have the little Z bracket, which houses the potentiometer. I'll turn it around. There's that potentiometer. You can see beside that, which mounts off the same bracket, is the motor start capacitor in here. In the B model, there's actually two motor start capacitors. One sits there, and the other one sits underneath the drive gear here. So then we go across a bit further, spin them around, and then we have the limit switches. There's our limit switch. You can just see the bar. Limit switches there. The bar is actually knocked by a pin on this one here. There's the pin. That hits the limit switch and turns the rotation off. In the baby version, it is actually a raised moulding within the casting. That's the knock pins for that. So there we go. Rightio. Yeah. So, and then we look down inside, we'll see a thrust washer down on the very bottom down there. That's what the main shaft rests on. That has a bit of grease around it to give it a bit of lubrication. And as we see here, this is a 7-pin plug for these ones. And this one just happens, as I said, this has 5K pot. This one has a 5K pot in it, because some of the early ones were 1K pot. So there we go. So there we go. We're having a bit of a quick run around of the Create RC5 rotator. Very good rotator, being worm drive. Yeah. So there we have it. A quick run around of the Create RC5 display cutaway rotator. Catch you later.